guys, Greg here from the Behind Enemy Lines podcast, and I have here a copy of the brand new tank skirmish game from Gale Force 9 and Battlefront Tanks. This is the Panther versus Sherman starter set, and everything inside this little box here is all you'll need to start playing the World War II tank skirmish game. So let's get into it and have a look what we've got. Pop the top off the box here, and straight away we're greeted by the rulebook for TANKS Panther quite beautifully on the front there. Popping this out, we see beautiful, glossy, no problems whatsoever. Quick reference sheet on the back. Every good rulebook needs that. Now this thing's a monster. It comes in at 21 pages, and that includes a little bit of background and history for you, some details around tank heroes of World War II, so German tank heroes such as Michael Wittmann, British heroes, Joel Ekins, American Lafayette Paul, and I'm not even going to say her name, Maria Oktyabrsky, from the Soviet side. Then it goes on into telling you all about the turn sequence, what the cards look like, all the extra bits and bobs that you get with it, game setup, movement, shooting, terrain, the whole 9 yards, all contained in this little book. And then your first mission, how to play your first game at Bachman's Corner, and everything's in there ready for you to play that, including the terrain. So what else do you get in the box? Let's have a look. So there we go. So anyone who's quite familiar with Battlefront's range of plastic tanks will recognize these straight off. So you've got one Panther / Jagdpanther sprue, so you can build both options here. So you've got your Jagdpanther, you've got your Panther turret, all the extra bits and pieces there, coloured instead of the regular grey in German Dunkelgelb. Then you get two, count them, two Sherman sprues. So with your Sherman sprue, same as the one you get in your M4A3 boxes, you can make both the 75mm and the 76mm options. It's got turrets for both, as well as all your stowage, hedge cutters, all the little bits and pieces that you make. Now these things go together absolutely beautifully. I have got an example of the 76mm Sherman here painted all up and ready to go, as you see, with decals that don't come in the box, unfortunately. But it's all set up, painted, ready to go. It's all you need. One 76mm Sherman to take on the might of the German army. So what else have you got in the box? Dice. Every good game needs dice. So 6 grey, 6 green. If you've played Open Fire, you'll be familiar with these. Tank cards. So these are the core of the game. So these tell you what your tanks do. Here's your Panther, coming in at 32 points. It's got a 7 initiative, 5 shooting, 2 defense dice, and 6 hull points. It also has a blitzkrieg special rule, which is described there on the card for you. You can see your crew slots as well. So that's your Panther. Pretty good tank for 32 points. Jagdpanther comes in a little bit higher, but that's because it's a little bit better at shooting. Not as good in the initiative stakes, which determines when you move and when you shoot. So higher initiative shoots last, moves first. Moves first, shoots last, one or the other. And this one is an assault gun, meaning it can only shoot to the front. Then you've got your 75mm Sherman. Not very good on defense. Obviously the lighter arm of the Sherman, not as good as that on the Panther. Initiative wise, it's about the same as the Jagdpanther. And shooting, it gets a 4, but then and that's for 20 points. It's got the gung ho special rule, which is really, really good. It takes down the movement distance that you've gone. So if you move a 2, it actually counts as a 1 for calculating defense. So you get, for an extra 5 points, you can upgrade to the 76mm Sherman, exactly the same tank, but you get 1 additional attack die. Then we go into the extra tanks, Panzer IV, still for the Germans, Pershing and Super Pershing for the Americans. T-34, 3485, SU-85, SU-100, ISU-122 and ISU-152 and IS-2 and IS-85 for the Soviets. And then for the British, you get your Comet, your Cromwell, your Sherman Firefly, and your Sherman 5. And there's a couple of extra cards in the back for your Shermans. You also get a deck of upgrade cards. So these upgrades include things like commanders like Michael Wittmann, Ernst Bachmann, Bobby Vole, War Daddy Paul. Only for the Americans and the Germans at this stage. The expansions will have commanders for the other nationalities. You've also then got equipments, toolkits, so they're all equipment, different kinds of ammo, so arrowhead shot, super high velocity, hyper velocity, tungsten, engine upgrades, armor upgrades, commander upgrades. So this is just a regular commander, so he's a cunning commander or an aggressive loader, things of that nature. Deadly gunner, precise loader, sharpshooter gunner, and these all add bonuses to your tank. So let's have a look at the sharpshooter gunner, for instance. So when drawing critical cards for the first uncancelled critical hit, so that's your damage deck, as we can see still in the box there, draw one additional card and then you can choose one of those. So that's pretty cool. So if you end up getting a couple of really decent critical hits, such as, let's say, ammo explosion and bailed out, you may want to choose the ammo explosion for the 3 damage that it does, and then discarding all ammo upgrades. So this is your damage deck. This dictates how and when your tank dies. So each of your tanks, as we saw on the cards before, using the Panther 4 here, have a hull value. So this card, Lucky Hit for instance, takes 2 damage away from that, leaving you on 3. These cards are also really good. They're coated in type of plastic, so you can use a dry erase marker on those to mark off your hull points, or you can just stack the cards against them. Also in the pack you get a whole heap of cardboard counters and some cardboard terrain as well, similar to that you get in open fire. Buildings, damage markers, objectives, speed markers. There's another one inside there which will have measuring sticks and the rest of the speed markers. So all in all, a really good little box and a really good intro game. It's one of those games that we've talked about on the podcast before. It's a pick up and play game that you can just play in between rounds at a tournament or just on a kitchen table with friends. So I think Gale Force 9 and Battlefront have done a really good job. You'll have heard our interview with Andrew and Sean, who worked on the game. They're both very proud of it, and looking at what's in the box, it's pretty easy to see why. It's an absolutely fantastic little game, and I can't wait to get a hold of it. So there you go, guys. That's the unboxing of Gale Force 9 and Battlefront's new game, Tanks. As always, if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe, share it around with your friends, and we will catch you in the next video.